Hello. So I did a previous video like yesterday where I had to do a project in metric for a friend of mine in Ireland as a kind of a favor, and I recorded it because I had to switch my system over, which I hadn't done before, and I lost it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to redo this. Now, this is probably not the right way to do it. This is my first time doing this, so bear with me. So when I go into advanced steel, I have it. I'm still going to do this in 2021, just so it probably most likely won't crash. So when I come in here, you can see it doesn't give me the option for what language I want. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go into any project. So pick a project, and then I'm going to go into my defaults or my management tools. Sorry. So just give it a second. Sorry, it's a little faster on my desktop, but oh, apparently my. All right. Well, this job I've already altered today on a different computer. So I'm going to go into the management tools. So let's go into management tools. So there's a couple of different levels you got to work on here. So for one, you can see unit selection. Don't go near that right now. Go to options and show the current country settings. Now, if I come in here, you can see I've got a whole load of different things that I really don't need, to be honest with you. So what I'm going to do is close that out, and then I'm going to close advanced steel. And I'm going to open it again, and then it should give me the options. Now, if you're working on metric and imperial projects, you probably should leave this on all the time, so you're reminded when you open that you want to work in United Kingdom. I'm going to switch to. Now, the Republic of Ireland is not in the United Kingdom, but it's close enough. Same metric system. So, all right. So now we should be in metric. Now, if I open this project, it's still going to be in imperial because this prototype is in imperial. So the only thing will be different is my management tools will be different. Well, it's not the only thing, but the main thing that'll be different is my management tools. So what we got to do is we can see I have these templates, but they're all metric. This here is, or sorry, they're all imperial. So this is a metric one. So what you can do is you can either come into this one. So I'm going to do it both ways, okay? So I'm going to come in here. Now, this is probably not the way you want to do it. You probably want to do it the other way. But because I've got my own layers and I have some project settings set up in here, not much, but a couple of things, you might want to change it here first. So what I'm going to do is File, Save As. Sorry, I went too far there. So come in here, Advanced Steel, Save As Drawing Template. Now, if I go to the templates, I can see it's in the GBR folder. So now the only problem is I've opened this as a drawing, so you probably shouldn't. Let's not do it that way. So let's go up here and no, I guess that's the only way I can do it. Sorry. Sample files. Yeah, no, it's fine to do it that way. So what I'm going to do is just come in and open that template. So I'll open the first one. Sorry. All right. So I'm a little green with this now. So just bear with me. All right. So that is not my drawing template, as you can see. Again, I made another mistake. All right, bear with me. So for some reason, oh, So there is no template file right now, right? Sorry, because I have, they're on the other side in my USA folder, right? So I haven't, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to open one of those. So let's go open and drawing. Now you'll have to go and find it. So let's go back here, this PC, C drive, program data, Autodesk, Advanced Steel 2021, go into GBR folder, shared, support, templates, and go to DWT, and then you can see here's your two templates. So now I went into the GBR folder there. So what I actually want to do is go into the USA folder, steel, sorry, USA, shared, support, templates. So you can see here are my templates. So that's a millimeter one, and this is my other one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this one. Now this is probably the long way of doing this, right? So I've opened this template, which is in metric, or sorry, imperial. So now I'm going to go save as, drawing template, and just double check that this is in the GBR one, right? So it's going to save it in there. But I need to keep in mind that this is not imperial or not metric yet. So I'll save that. So now go back in here, save as, drawing template. Millimeters. All right. So now I have both, right? So I've copied both over. And now I need this to be in millimeters. So let's type in units. And we want to change this to decimal, precision 0.0. This one is good. Inches. I want this to be in millimeters. And that's all right. I don't know if that had anything. All right, so that's okay. Okay. So now that's set to millimeters. So if I draw a line here, you can see that the units are now set to millimeters. But now you want to also set the project sentence. So project sentence, so you want to go to weight, good, length. So you want to change this to millimeters. Regen the model, okay. Decimal and 0.0. Angle is good. Area is meter squared. Decimal is good, 0.0. Area length, millimeter and meter, 0.0. Volume, meter cubed. Decimal format, 0.0. Now you can check all these as section properties. So it's obviously a lot to do this, right? So let's just go through and then we'll go the other way. So load units, kips, fine, concrete beams, scale unit, meter, decimal, 0.1. Now, if I'm doing meter, I should probably go further than 0.0. I'll just leave it like that for now. All right, so as you can see, this has now moved. Let's regen. So you can see the locations have changed because of the scaling. So these are really no use. So is this the right way to go? Probably not, right? So that's one way of doing it. So what I'm going to do is, now I'm going to do it the other way. So Let's go back to the start, templates, and you can see the ones I copied over. So what I'm going to do is, now I'm going to go back to this one, which is the one that's the out of the box template, which has nothing here, right? So what I like to do is just draw something to locate the origin apart from, now I can't do 5 feet obviously, so 5 feet is about one, I'll do 1.5 meters. And then let's draw a line. Let's draw a line from 0, 0, 0. So this is the second way, just in case you missed it. So let's do 3 meters. And then we can rotate that. Copy. That's good. And then we'll draw another line up from the center of the circle. What did I say? 3 meters. Okay, so now I have an origin there. You know, if you want to put in your compass mark, go to your compass, stick a compass in there in case you forget to put it in on the job, which I do sometimes. When it's there, at least I realize that I have to rotate it. And then you can put it in some cameras over here if you want, right? So the only problem is now you have to go and set up, you know, you want to go into your Project Explorer. Maybe you want to set up some queries, some beams, all these. So you can set up all these in here. And then also, now the other issue is you're missing your toolbars here. And you're missing some of my custom connections are gone. So you'll have to add them again. So, you know, I obviously need to do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some of it here. Advanced steel, connection vault, and you know, your favorites are gone there and everything. I don't know if that's the norm. I guess it is. So drawing styles, drawing process, bill of materials. So let's just get it set up the way we want it. Now, so we're pretty good. So if you want to set up a query in here, let's say we want to set up one query. So let's set up a query for objects, steel beams. So just steel beams is good. Naming model role. So we'll just do model role beams. Okay. And let's not worry about the numbers. So save and beams. Okay. Now the problem is inside my project settings. So that's saved. So it's got the beams on here. So now if I go back here to my management tools, sorry if this seems a little all over the place because it is all over the place. If I go back into my options here, you can see current order. It's giving you some options, but none of them are my own one. So what I'm going to do firstly is create my own one. And so now we're in here, ADM. So now you're going to have to go in and set up your settings in here. So if I come back here to my defaults, there'll be some things in here that are not correct. So let's use a filter and let's check one thing. Holes. Drawing general. Treats partially visible holes as visible holes. Not that one. Drawing labeling dimensions. Now maybe I should put this in as hole. Let's see. Trying to find the one for the overview drawings, because when I did this yesterday, my overview drawings were not showing the holes. I'm trying to remember where it is. Create only a symbol. Holes in arrangement drawings. Yes, I think that's it there. All right. So there's obviously a lot of other stuff you need to set up in here. It'll take you a little bit of time. Now the one thing I did notice about, like for now, let's just have a look, sorry. The one thing I did notice is it seems like the out of the box in the UK is better than the out of the box in the USA, like way better. Like the drawing styles, the prototypes, everything looks a little better. So, which I was a little bit surprised, I guess. But if I go in now in here into this one, you can see we don't have the designer name and this in here. And then if we go to weight, we can see length units is already set, millimeters 0.00. So it's 2 zeros, so I didn't set it up that way. Meters, decimal, 00, millimeters. Okay, volume, meters, density, kilogram, meters, section, centimeters, load units, kilonewtons, concrete beams, centimeters. So that's how they set it up. So you're possibly better to go this way, right? Now the only thing is when you come in here, you've got different layers, and you don't have your own layers that you have already created. You're not going to have your model roles that you've created. You don't have any of those. I don't know if there's a way to bring those over. I guess you could work in Imperial but output your drawings as metric, which seems a little counterintuitive, but basically I have set that template now. So what I'll do is, let's save this one. So I'll come up here, save as drawing template. So I've already just saved this one, and it's still open, so I can't rename it. So what I'll do is, let's rename it almost the same, and we'll call it millimeter 2 for now. Advanced steel template files, metric. Alright, so that's the metric template created. So now I have a metric template. So I guess the problem you're going to have now is you're going to want to do your prototypes, right? So while we're in here, let's go to output and come down here to this one here, edit prototype. And here's your prototypes. UK single multi, UK single, assembly multi, and assembly. So let's open one of these assembly ones. Now that doesn't have a list on it, so I would like to have a list on it. So let's have a look. A2. Assembly A2 with the bomb, right? So these seem to be set up a little nicer. So what I would do first then is I'll come in here, block editor. Now that's a whole so let's draw a rectangle in here. Now I should have saved this straight away first in case I mess it up. But let's go in here. I'm going to get my own logo. And let's come down here. And I'll select this. Copy it, come back into my prototype, click inside the prototype, scroll back out, Control V. This is how I like to put these in from a lot of stress of inserting images. This is the way I like to do it. And then I'm going to move this down. Alright, so we're going to put this on an A2 sheet. As you can see, it's still too big. Let's bring it right down. Alright, so the box is too big. You can change that later if you want. So I'm just going to move this now from the midpoint between here and here to the midpoint in this box, and that'll be good enough for me for now that I have my page set up at least some way correct. Now while you're in here, I would say you want to come in and come down here, right click, page setup manager, and modify. And we can see in here it is extents. We don't want that extents, we want that as layout. So we want whatever is on the sheet here. You can see millimeters, the page size, the output, the CTB file, okay. And that's good. We'll change the CTB file later to edit the way we want. So actually, let's have a look at it right now. So let's come into the CTB file. The red is coming out as black, and this gray, use object color, that's the way I want it. And 253, use object color, and that's the way I want it also. And we can change that later if we want. So that's good. So the CTB file is correct. Close. So now we have this prototype set up, the assembly A2 bill of materials. So that's good. Now I should have saved this immediately as something else. So A2 BOM ADM. Alright, so that's saved. Now we close that. We'll close this one. It doesn't have a bill of materials. I don't want that one. So do not save. So now we want to do a prototype for the single parts. That was the assemblies. Let's come down to single part. I'll do A2, A3 maybe. So let's do the two of these. So we'll do the A2 and the A3. So what you should do immediately is save this as a different name so you don't mess it up. Now there's loads of other settings in here you're going to need to do, but I'm just doing the basic stuff for now. So first of all, let's save as, and let's do ADM, save, and then we'll go to the other one, save as, bill of materials, ADM. And I'm sure people have suggestions about ways to do these. I can't remember half the things I do. So block editor, I'm just going to come in and change this again. And let's delete this. Oh, sorry, I thought the box was going to get deleted as well, but it didn't. So let's go back out, Control V. It should be still in the clipboard. And we want to make this pretty small. Get it down inside again. I'm going to just do it right while I'm here. Now, I don't like to have the lines overlapping because sometimes it makes a mess. So I like to keep it inside. Now obviously, ideally, I'll come back later and edit the size of these boxes to allow this to fit a little better, but for now it'll do. Alright, so now I've changed that, so let's do a save, and then come back down here, and page setup, modify, change this also to layout, CTB and all that's okay. Landscape is good. Plot line weights, you can change these when you're plotting. That's quite helpful actually. Okay, close. Okay, and that's good. Now save that, and then go to the other one and block editor. There's obviously other things you're going to change in here. I'm just kind of showing you the basics, real basics. I'm just kind of getting it set up so my file looks somewhere right. Okay, and same again. Now if I copy the previous one, it still won't come in at the right size, so you kind of have to, I feel like I have to do this every time, but it's a little unfortunate, but I won't have to do it again after this, hopefully. So see, if I leave this full size, let's see what happens. Oh, sorry. won't even. I was going to plot it out just to see what it looks like, but it's probably just going to be a waste of my time. I can hear my daughter laughing upstairs. She's having a nice time, whatever's going on. It's always good to hear. Alright, so let's save that and then go in and check down here again. And page setup manager, modify layout. Okay, close. Alright, so that's those two. So let's close that. Close that. So now we are in the template file here. We have saved this, so let's close this. And we have saved the other one, so let's close that. And now when we want to start a project, we'll come in and click on one of these. I'll click on the second one because that's the one I want. It should open up that prototype. My units should be correct, and these drawing processes are all here. So what we need to do now is set up some drawing styles, some drawing processes. So I'm going to go in and have a quick look. Drawing processes. Alright, so let's have a look in here. And see, like, there's so much more options in England. I know they do a lot of cold rolled stuff. I mean, but there's so many. It takes a little while to get used to, actually. General assembly, main part grading, main part beam. So there's like, it's like there's almost no beam. So I guess rafter, beam here. Sorry, beam sections of views. Front top, bottom. So this one here, I guess. So what we want to do is copy that. So I'm going to copy that. And see, there's no point in putting my ADM in front of that. That's what I used to do, but then it's hard to find it. So let's do ADM at the end with a dash. Okay. And now that's created. So what I want to do is, I'm in the user, sorry, I was just double checking. You're going to have to go into each one of these then. So you're going to have to come in here and you're going to have to create a new view name if you don't want these to all change. So you're going to have to go to view name and object presentation. So you're going to have to do new view name, main part front. Again, the dash, just kind of split it up. And so on. You can want to do it this way, right? So I'm going to have to go back in and do these because it'll take a little bit of time and I don't want to waste the time right now. So go to object presentation, main part.